Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Ronin's Den. I'm Steve. As always, I'm joined by my co host, Eric. And today we're talking another Fabula Ultima class. We are talking about the Guardian. The Guardian is your heavily armored defender, paladin, knight in shining armor. Eric, what are your initial thoughts when you think of this class?
Pretty much what you just said. It's your tank class, and if you're intending to be the person who's going to absorb damage, you have to invest in this class. It is a mandatory.
Yeah. So, as always, with this class and any other class, you get some free benefits just for taking the class. For this one, permanently increase your HP by 5, and you gain the ability to equip martial armor and martial shields. The first skill you can take with this one is Bodyguard, which is if you perform the guard action and choose to provide cover to another creature, that creature gains resistance to all damage types until the start of your next turn.
Yep. And just like I said, this is why if you're intending to soak damage, you really need to invest in this class. Possibly you could do it with Dark Knight, but the martial shields, the martial armor, and that hit point adjustment is just really sweet. Bodyguard, pretty useful. It's not the one I would invest in first, but I definitely will be investing in this skill when I take this class.
I think Guard is the perfect support ability or Bodyguard. Because if you take the guard action with the Bodyguard ability or skill, you're giving resistance to every damage type.
True.
Meaning no matter what the enemy does, they're dealing half damage. That is incredibly useful, especially if you have a squishy sorcerer in your group. Being able to be like, no, for my action, I can't do the damage output that they can do. I'm going to guard Celine, and she's not going to take full damage from attacks.
Yeah.
It is very much the ultimate support ability.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one's going to be Defensive Mastery. This is the bread and butter for Guardian. As long as you have a shield or martial armor equipped, all damage you suffer is reduced by skill level, and you apply this before any damage affinities. So that's before, any vulnerability bonuses or things like that. This is where I'm going to invest first, and then with the bonuses I get from here, move into Bodyguard personally.
I mean, it's just a good ability, right? Being able to lower the damage before it multiplies or divides it's just beneficial. I think, like you said, it's the quintessential bodyguard or guardian ability. You just take less damage. It's pretty straightforward. The next skill is Dual Shield Bearer. And this one is kind of an interesting one. You may now equip a shield in your main hand slot as long as you have 2 shields equipped. You gain the benefits of both of them and may treat them as the following combined 2-handed melee brawling weapon. Now, this brawling weapon also says that it deals extra damage equal to the skill level in your defensive mastery. Now, looking at the damage of the 2 shields, it doesn't deal a lot of damage, but being able to buff your defense up by that amount with the 2 shields bonuses, you're not going to get hit very often at all. This is an extremely powerful thing to have, especially if you can find ways to draw attacks to you.
Which would be from a great one would be from the Fury with their provoke ability. Be a good way to do that. I really like this ability. It gives you a unique weapon loadout as well as giving you extra defensive ability while using them. And that's what I like about it. It's unique to the Guardian, and like you said, it boosts their defense while giving them an offensive option as well.
Yep.
Fortress. This one's got 5 ranks in it as well. This one, every time you take it, increases your hit points by skill level times 3. Now, when you level up in Fabula Ultima, you get 1 health point per level. The way that you get your big jumps is when you take another class where you get that extra 5. Like if you were to move into Guardian, it's one of the only ways I can think of that you can increase your hit points through the use of a skill. It's one of the very few hit point increasing skills out there.
Yeah, I don't think there's another, at least in the base game, that gets hit point increase just by taking a skill. And this can be up to a max of 15 extra health. So it's skill level times 3. If you have all 5 points in it, you get 15 extra health, which is really good, which leads back into this class wants to be hit. You want people attacking you. You want them focus firing you. And this ability just means if they do somehow breach your defenses, you're even harder to kill.
Absolutely.
And then the final skill that you can take is Protect. When another creature is threatened by an attack, spell, or other danger, you may take their place. Any checks that are part of the danger will be performed against you. You may declare the use of this skill before or after the checks have been made. If the danger already affected you, it affects you twice. Resolve both instances separately. You also cannot protect multiple creatures from the same danger. If you use this skill during a conflict, you cannot use it again until the start of your next turn. Essentially, you're shielding people. Say in our game, Celine gets hit. You can say, nah, I'm going to take that. And if their attack didn't breach your armor, you don't get hurt. Where it might have dealt a ton of damage to Celine, it's not going to deal that damage to you. I will say, though, with this, we do have to remember that magic defense and physical defense are 2 separate things. So absorbing spells can be kind of dangerous.
Yep. Now, if you've played Final Fantasy 4 or 2, depending on how old you are, for me it was Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo. This is Cecil's cover ability, where he just jumps in front of a target when they're party member when they're about to be hit. What I like about the Protect skill is the synergy that you can get with Weapon Master and their counterattack ability. You have a party member that got hit by doubles. No, they don't. I'm going to take that hit. Oh, it's not going to hit me because my armor's too high. And I'm going to get to attack you right now in response to that. Skill synergy.
Yeah, which we've harped on quite a bit. When you're building a character in Fabula Ultima, you have to think of those synergies. And the Guardian, I think, can synergize with a lot. Just because this is a tank. You get these armors, you get the shields. And if you put a spellcaster in with it, you still get all this defense and the ability to cast spells. If you mix it with Fury and Weapon Master, suddenly you're not just a tank, you can hit like a truck. There are so many things that you can do with Guardian. It is one of the more versatile classes in the game.
Any class can benefit from any of these skills, especially Defensive Mastery and Fortress. And one last thing on that, just to, with the Guardian, if you're playing a caster, right, and you're concerned of, I don't want to be wearing plate mail, it's not part of how I view my caster. Fabula Ultima relies heavily on reflavoring and trappings. Just because something says it's steel plate mail doesn't mean it has to be steel plate mail. It could be anything else you want to reflavor it as and maintain your robe-wearing wizard if that's what you want to do. A shield doesn't necessarily have to be your traditional shield. It could be something else. So, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like I said, just versatile and good to go. I don't have any final thoughts. Do you have any Final things before you take us out?
No, I mean, well, yeah, one last final thing is this one does synergize with any of the classes. So if you're unsure of where to go next with your character, you can't go wrong taking some levels in Guardian. You just can't. But that has been our little dive into the Guardian class with Fabula Ultima. We're going to be continuing through the core book and then working our way into the atlases as we get through them. Next one up is going to be, I believe, the Lore Master is the next one we're going to be recording. So we look forward to seeing you next time. My name's Eric, and as always, I'm here with my co-host Steve, and we will catch you again later.